I will say there is an incredible amount of energy required to go to these pinball shows. There's a incredible amount of patience for all the vendors and manufacturers to do the shows. I got in Thursday morning. I flew out Saturday morning and yeah, had a great show. I just want to say had a great show. We're going to let people get a chance to come in through the door. How's everybody doing? Everybody doing good? Ah, waiting on YouTube. YouTube is up. YouTube is up. And let me share this on Patreon chat. It is literally the perfect Sunday morning. It is basically 70 degrees, sunny. We went for a walk, had some friends visiting, watched K-pop Demon Hunter last night. So good. It keeps getting better. Keeps getting better. And I want to just give you my post Expo follow-up. I'm not feeling 100%. I have to be honest. The show just drains you. And I don't know what I don't know what I like my it's like a walking around a pinball show for hours. You are guaranteed to get sick. You're just guaranteed to get sick. And I'm not like I have like a weird it's not even like a sore throat. I just got like a couple sores like on my tongue. It's just painful. I'm like, what is this? I just washed it out with some Brenda's got some, I don't know, like mouthwash that's supposed to kill this stuff. I don't know. It's uncomfortable. So if I sound like I'm talking with a little bit of a lisp, it is not fun. It's like on each side of my tongue, like right where my teeth are. It's like it hurts. Oh. No, I don't think it's hand, foot, mouth. I don't. I've had hand, foot, mouth before, and this is not that. Hand, foot, mouth. Um, I had like sores all throughout my throat. Trust me, I know the difference. Hand, foot, mouth. You get like itchy skin, and it does actually hit your hand, your feet, and your mouth. Anyway, Retro Ralph had the same thing. How's everybody doing, man? I feel like it was an interesting show for me because had a lot of fun. Always have a ton of fun with the people, hanging with the folks, and uh yeah, there was a little bit of an incident I'm going to talk about. They did try to kick me out of the show, but not Rob Burke, and I want to explain what happened to me on Saturday that was really unfortunate, and it sort of spoiled the show for me a little bit, and I didn't really want to make a big deal about it. I had no, it was Friday night. Sorry, it was Friday during the day actually. And I just didn't want to make a big deal about it because I had such a good time Thursday and had a nice dinner plan Friday night in Chicago, which in hindsight was like ridiculous to go 20 miles, took 2 hours. But we had such a good time at the Omakase with Melvin, Rachel, and Kale. So I think what I want to do on this episode is just walk you through my overall observations of the show and just my thoughts on where the hobby's going because it's nice to sort of have everything in one place. You kind of get an ability to sort of step back, look at everything that's happening in the hobby, look at what each company is bringing to the table, and really like see the directions and the point of view that each of these companies have when it comes to pinball. But everybody knows this. First and foremost, the pinball shows are exhausting. They're exhausting. They're all about the people. The actual show like itself, you can kind of see everything in an hour. But so I see people there when they get in on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. These people are just like exhausted. Like they literally are catatonic by day two. And there's just only so much you can do lapping the floor. And there's so much sensory overload. And you just, it wears you down as a grown adult. But I always know this going into the shows. Todd, you're always missed, brother. You're always missed. Um, so when I got to the show and I went in, had no problem getting in, no problem with security. There was no drama anywhere. It was really fun. You probably caught a lot of my Facebook lives. The big news, even as the show began, the big news at the entire show was the really quick selling out of Winchester's Mystery House. It was the game that had the most excitement at the show. It was the line that was the longest for any single game. There again, keep in mind there was maybe 4 of them at Barrels. I think Zach had one at Flipping Out. I don't even know if there was 4 at Barrels. I think there was like 3 of them at Barrels. Flipping Out had one. So there were not a lot of them to play. Stern had probably 30 Star Wars on the floor and 20 King Kongs. There was more Evil Deads to play than there was of Mystery House. So, but that being said, the line was always consistent. Every time I was in the show, the line to get on the game was pretty significant. And now I only got to play it once. I'll explain again what happened to me and sort of why I sort of decided to not really go back to the show very often on Friday. And I'll give you that story in a little bit, but the um the game itself, I played it. All right. So it's like I want to caveat all this by saying I really don't think one game on any machine is really enough time at all to make a significant impression about what the game is like. What you primarily get from playing a game for the first time, putting maybe 5 minutes on it, maybe 10 at most, you get a sense of the shot geometry. You get a sense of the music. You get a sense of the layout. You get a sense of the overall atmosphere of the game. So I think I did get a good sense just from watching people play Winchester Mystery House as playing it myself. I got a good sense about what the game is like. And I will say this. I think everyone's had the same sort of feeling about the game. It's definitely unique. It definitely nails the haunted house theme. It's definitely got a lot to shoot at, and there's a lot of fun stuff to do in the game. It's also a challenging game. And I heard that across the board universally. I think the phrase I heard, and I've been saying this to people when they ask me how the game is, it's a Carl game. Like it plays like a Carl D'Angelo game. And there's not a lot of trapping of the ball on the flipper. The ball oftentimes is moving so quickly off the flipper. If you're used to a Stern flipper feel, Sterns are always like real snappy, and the angle by which Stern's flippers snap up makes it a lot easier to trap and control. I would say the angle by which a full flip on this game is a little bit not as steep of an angle as a Stern machine. Now I know all machines are different, but games are designed to the geometry of the game hopefully is designed to have a satisfying gameplay experience based on the designer's flipper angle, flipper power, and flipper feel. I mean, all that has to work together. It's why designing a game to be very satisfying from a gameplay standpoint is not the easiest. Um, so my feelings on the game where this is not it's not really like a flowy kind of combo-y game. It feels like a game where you're gonna you got to find the shots. And the one shot that I was like, man, and David was talking to me about it. That staircase to nowhere, that upper left ramp that you hit from the upper right flipper, really difficult shot, right? This isn't an upper flipper shot like an Elton John or something like an Elwin game where you're going to be ripping orbits with that upper flipper. It is a very precise shot, a la more like a Rick and Morty upper flipper kind of shot where I think you're going to miss it, like 8 out of 10 times. Now, maybe again, only played it once. I wasn't seeing people like consistently nail it. Like if you walk over and you watch people play Elton John, you're going to see them consistently nailing that upper flipper shot. So I think the game is very challenging. I didn't feel like the left out lane is a bit brutal, but the game is coded in a way where they you definitely kind of have like a left out lane save for the first time the ball ever goes into that out lane. Yes, we're talking Winchester. Um, I did like the rotating, the rotating area in the upper middle. I don't want to say it's like a staircase. Maybe it is a staircase, but there's that can rotate around, turn into a scoop, turn into some other stuff, other ball pathways. Um, it's a very beautiful pin, and I noticed this when I walked over to Barrels. I really noticed with the Dune, with the new alternate translate. And for those of you just joining, I explained earlier. I don't know what at the show. All of a sudden, I've got like two sores on my tongue, like right by my teeth. I don't have hand, foot, mouth, and it's painful. So like talking right now and eating, it was like, oh, I did say your daughter. What? Oh, I don't know who's talking there. Um, I'm trying to read people's comments as I go. The third flipper shots are much more difficult to design as well. Um, Midwest omakase. So look, I think that the game is definitely on the more difficult side, which I also think is is appealing to people because it couldn't be more the contrast between how Mystery House plays and Star Wars, where it's just a fan layout. By the way, Star Wars just shoots like a dog. I'm going to talk about it in a little bit. I'm still so embarrassed that Stern released that game. I think it shows absolutely zero effort and zero passion in that game. Um, but this game is tricky. It's beautiful. I was talking about how when I walked up to Barrels, had a great conversation with David. Now, look, I did get clarity, and I need to clarify this because he clarified it after that. When I asked him on the live, have you sold more Dunes than you've sold of Winchester Mystery House? Later in the evening, he came up to me. He said, hey, my salespeople reached out to me and they let me know that that actually wasn't accurate. So they have not sold 525 Dunes. They have sold 525 Winchesters. Now, absolutely crazy, right? Nobody saw this coming. I would not have predicted that. I'm happy for them. I'm happy for everybody associated with this game. I think that anyone who got a Winchester is going to be, happy to have it in their collection. I think it's way too early to know like if it's going to be a great game or not in the end. The code is still so early. Will they be able to code it in and have enough campy, fun stuff to keep people coming back time and time again? I think it's too soon to understand that. It's always going to be a beautiful pin, right? It's always going to be a world under glass. So it's always going to have that going for it. But it's also always going to be challenging to shoot. And I think I'm being very fair when I say this. If the gameplay over time is not satisfying to owners, I could see that being one reason why these games might be trading hands more frequently than people think. Because, this hobby does, when it comes to owning a game, you kind of want to own something that gives you kinetic satisfaction to jump on it time and time again. Is it better than Alice? I'll talk about that in a second. Barrel's doing well, helping bring other manufacturers up. So, look, Barrels, it's a tale of two barrels. I think they're surprised that this game way more energy, way more excitement than Dune. And I think this game selling out so quickly will help Dune sales because I think people will now sort of look at Barrels as a brand you want to support. I think all the positive energy in that booth, I think all the excitement around this game will carry over and create a little bit of a collateral excitement for the other games they're making. Because now all of a sudden, you kind of want to support these guys and they've kind of got that goodwill. And I think we're feeling the same thing over at Spooky Pinball. I think we're feeling the same thing. I don't know. I mean, those two companies right now, Barrels and Spooky seem to have, the two real, like most of the positivity happening. I don't want to talk dirty about Alice as I used to own it, but I feel like Winchester is more than a keeper to me. Well, look, let me just address this right now. Um, you got to remember this. Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, made by Melvin and DPX, was a proof of concept that Melvin could take a foam core game and turn it into a working, manufactured, brought to retail product within 1 year, and he did it. It was never designed from the ground up to be anything more than making the J-pop game work. So as I've always said, that game succeeds on achieving what it set out to achieve. Is it as comprehensive as a game as Winchester? No. Is there as much to shoot at in that game as Winchester? No. Will the code analysis be as good as Winchester or as deep? No. So yeah, I would say like for 95% of people, Winchester will be a far more rewarding at the end of the day pinball ownership experience. Now, look, Alice is still stunning. I mean, it's a beautiful game. I mean, there was one with the topper edition, which just looks incredible. Um, but I think both of them are super rare, super low volume, and they will be not everywhere. And in a world in which it seems like you're going to be seeing Star Wars everywhere, Harry Potter everywhere, you're going to see King Kong nowhere because no one bought them. But there's just like these are collector games, and I think David Van Ness learned a very valuable lesson. I just need to make enough that makes collectors go crazy. And look, in the larger scheme of things, it's almost embarrassing that all you got to do is get 525 people excited on a global marketplace of pinball, and you're looked at as being tremendously successful. Like, it's funny. Like, that's so little people. I have more subscribers than that amount of people, but that's what it takes. Like, and I think also that Barrels of Fun really did make the right move in I really do think they made the right move in keeping it to 525, even after there was tremendously more demand for the game. They didn't add more. They're not going to make another edition of it down the road. They, and they're not going to raise the price. It's smart because the moment they say they're making 750, all of a sudden they're not selling as many because there's not as much FOMO. So it was the perfect game at the perfect time with the perfect amount at the perfect price for this community. And the community is who is saying that. This isn't like opinion anymore. Once the sales are there and once the results and the success are there for this title, the community has spoken. Everything that David and his team brought, and Carl, everything they brought with Brad Albright on the art, everything they brought out clicked with this community. And as I said on my show, they brought FOMO back, and that felt good. And the feel good vibes of the organization, the feel good vibes of the game, and I think it became sort of infectious. Is that a word? Like we more like contagious. Like we just want it to be a part of it. And once it was sold out, then the FOMO goes through the roof, and everybody's trying to get one. People that wanted one that now look, all of what I'm saying, I think, is going to come to fruition and is accurate. I also think spots will absolutely open up when Beetlejuice gets revealed. Whether or not those spots are going to go Whether or not they're going to go for more money, time will tell. Right now is the time to scalp your spot for your Winchester for more money. Like right now. If I had one and I'm kicking myself a little bit that I didn't scalp one of these babies, now's the time. I think you get 5,000 for your spot. I think you make a $3,000 profit. You do nothing, you put the money in the bank and you move on to the next. So, yeah, there's that. Okay, so that's my feelings on this game. I think David Van Ness now has more of a roadmap of what he needs to do to succeed. And I think Dune will always be a bit of a misstep, but I will say this: Dune is just a stunning game, though. I look, when the dust settles, I think Dune's going to be the more enjoyable game to shoot. I mean this. I will be the more enjoyable game to shoot. Will actually maybe have more thrilling moments in it from a code standpoint. And aesthetically, Dune is still prettier than Mystery House. Now, look, and the Dune alternate translate, just with the big worm and just Dune, it's absolutely stunning. It is a work of art. And here's the thing: they're both doing really well. They're both doing well, no, not Dune really, but like they both like I guess what I'm trying to say is this: if I'm Barrels, I feel proud that these are my first 3 games and I'm showing people what we're capable of. And, as they continue to even improve and get better and make the lighting inside the cabinet a little bit more seamless looking, I just think it's going to be a bright future for Barrels of Fun if they can execute. And by that, I mean, manufacture in a timely period and make their customers satisfied. Now that's on them. 525 people with positive word of mouth is how you get to 1,000 people wanting your products, to 2,000 people wanting your products. So all good. A lot of good energy there. I want to say congratulations to David, to Blake, to Brad, to Carl, to all the folks who worked on this game that we don't know their names. Congratulations. You made the show very exciting for me. I want to say on a personal level, you made my time in your booth very, very welcoming and warm. And the reception I received from your team was made me feel very good. And I know sometimes we try to separate the products from the people, but that means something. In a world in which we all do have favorites, and that's how relationships work. And so it was absolutely amazing to we have a big Stay Puft Marshmallow Man set up here, and someone's walking their kid to see it. But I just want to say that goes a long way. And the moment they saw me, it was nothing but smiles and Chris, come in. Like the moment I saw David, 20 feet away, he's like, Chris, come on, come in. It's like, I love that. So thank you guys for making my show a special one. All right, let me go over. Do you guys want to hear about me getting kicked out for like 10 minutes and what happened there and how that sort of spoiled my Friday? I'll tell you that real quick. And it was unfortunate. And I don't really, as I think about it still now, it really upset me and it upset, it sort of ruined my Friday at the show in some ways. I mean, of course I recovered, but it made me not want to be in the show anymore. And it's unfortunate because I didn't do anything. Here's what happened. I was just, and you saw all my lives. There's no drama with anybody. It was a really, great Thursday. And so I go in Friday. I go in a little bit early Friday. That's when I played Winchester. Melvin lent me his vendor badge. So I got in like 10 minutes before the show started because I wanted to jump on Winchester. And then I'm just roaming around the show, talking to people. I get stopped every 5-10 minutes. Everybody who does content does. And in the far left corner of If you go in all the way to the back left, I'm just sitting on a random machine. I think I was playing some old Stern soccer game. And all of a sudden, I get tapped, and there's a man with security, and he says, "You have to leave. You're kicked out of the show. You're not welcome here. You're banned from Pinball Expo for life." Like, that's what I get told. And it's it's Jake Danzig, who I honestly don't even know the guy. I don't even know him. I don't know what I did to him personally. I don't know why he came to find me. Like, I didn't I know he has a homebrew game and he has his game. Like, I didn't even encounter him or even interact with him. He came to find me with this security guy that was Rob Burke's security guy. It wasn't the hotel security, and he starts saying to me, "You're not only banned from life from Pinball Expo, but you're banned from this hotel." Now, this is Jake telling me with security guard. Um, and so, like, I was like, "Look, man, like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I've talked to Rob. Like, everything's fine. Like, I didn't do anything. Like, what? This is, why do I have to leave?" And he made it like, very. He was very angry. He made it very contentious, and I, I don't know. There's just a terrible feeling to be having such a good time and bringing so much positive energy to the show, to have that happen, like, just unexpectedly. Like, I really don't understand. Like, and so what happens next is I walk out to the front because I'm like calling Melvin. I'm like, Melvin, they're kicking me out. I don't know what's going on. And so here's what happens. They then call one of the nicest guys I've met at the show, Drew, who's the head of security for the Renaissance Hotel. Then Drew comes over, really nice guy in a suit. He's like, "Hi, Chris." Like, "Okay, hold on a second." Jake's there with the security guy that is for the show, but Drew is the security guy for the whole hotel, like real legit security. And he's like, "I just spoke to Rob and Bridget, who run the show, and they said Chris is fine. As long as he doesn't do anything wrong, like, absolutely, he's welcome to be here and enjoy the show." So what happened is that Jake took it upon himself to kick me out without any authority from anybody. So, and it was Jake and then the gentleman who's got the beard with the dog. I think they're all friends. I get it. I did not interact with them. I didn't upset them. I didn't provoke them. I didn't do anything. But just having been treated like that, and I'll tell you why. Then I get a call from the security guard later on. He's like, "Chris, like, here's the thing. Like, I would just avoid them, like, and I'm like, cool, yeah." But after that happened, I just didn't want to go back into the show. And I didn't want to interact with a guy that, like, hates my guts, doesn't because I'll tell you this right now. Some of these people, like, I don't know what their problem is, but they kind of terrify me. And I have two little kids. I have a family. I have a career. Like, I don't need somebody like I don't know what they're gonna do, right? I don't know what they're I know what I'm gonna do, which is nothing. I'm just gonna go to a show to have a good time. So I also just don't want to be somewhere where I'm not invited, or people don't like. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a really uncomfortable thing to go through, and it really took the wind out of my sails, and so then I just ended up I didn't go back into the show until maybe later in the night. I just went back one time to say hi to Brett Abbas, but I didn't want to go back into the show and hang out there. So I spent the rest of my day hanging at the hotel bar, at the piano in the lobby. So, so there's that. So I guess it is what it is. In a lot of ways, I want to say thank you to Rob for being cool. I mean, again, Rob didn't ask me to leave. There was no drama with anybody. And I just think what's unfortunate is I was just having a good time, minding my own business, and for some reason, they decided to go find me, kick me out without permission, and then if you know what I would have done? Like, Jake Jake and whoever he's with, they're the ones who really, are making the show bad, and I mean this when I say this. Before going to the show bef before going to the show, Rob asked me to call Jake and iron things out, to which I did. Reach out to him about 4 or 5 times, left him 2 voice messages. I did all this stuff, and I just don't understand what I did. And so if you know Jake Danzig or Jake Danzig, someone says, "Hey, Jake, whatever I did to you, I'm sorry. I don't even know what I did. I know that there's been probably things you've said on my Facebook page that you don't like me." Again, I if you don't like me, it's fine. Like if you think I'm a toxic idiot, fine. But then just I'm not going to go after you. I'm not going to provoke you. I'm not going to like go where you are and try to cause an issue. And so I say that as a content creator because also don't understand why people would hang out on Kaneda's Pinball Podcast Facebook page if you hate me. Like, what, you're gonna come there and what? Just keep saying what an a-hole you think I am? Like, just everybody go your own way. But yeah, it kind of spoiled my Friday, but you know what? Like, I recovered my own way, like having Friday night at the piano with a moto and all the people there. David, you're late to the party, brother. I've said all my great things. So I just want to say, moving forward, I don't know, I don't know what to do with that guy. Like, I don't know what to do. But I'm sorry, Jake, for whatever I did, and I wish you no ill will at all, and I'm glad you have your cool homebrew game, and I think hopefully by next year, whatever anger you're holding on to, we can work it out, and we can just have a better time at the show next year. Jack Danger in the house. Jack Danger. All right. So, another year and Kanaeda gets almost thrown out again. Well, yeah, I know that Glenn and Jake are friends, and I don't, I didn't even see Glenn at the show, so it is what it is. So onward and upward, people. All right, let's talk about the show. How'd you get kicked out, a homebrew guy? It's fine. I don't even think that is Albert there. I mean, Albert sent me a message that he wants me to be permanently banned from every show for the rest of my life. I mean, look, you don't get to say this stuff and then be like, and then insult me. I didn't listen to any of it, by the way, bro. I know you. I keep hearing you saying like that. I'm like sneaking in to listen. I don't listen to anything you say, man. So like, and I think anybody that hides insults about me behind a paywall is like, that is like the worst marketing and a level of, like, it's just sad, man. Say it to my face. Let everybody hear it. Let everybody hear it. I don't care. Whatever you think about me, I know everything, and I'm everything bad you say about me, and I'm so much more. So whatever, who cares? Y'all need to like y'all need to like let go of your anger, because I really don't really care about anything you guys say. Anyway, good show. All right, so let's go on to the show. So mystery sold out. Go over to Star Wars, right? Um, go over to Star Wars, and I really was shocked. I'm shocked about Star Wars because I just know what Stern's capable of. And yeah, Cengiz, you have to go back and listen to it all. I was escorted out by a guy that didn't have the authority to escort me out, and then they let me right back in. But then it ruined my Friday because I didn't want to hang out with people like that are just there. Like those, I just whatever. You go back and listen, Cengiz. Um, I get on Star Wars, and it's like a tale of like two different games, man. The moment you walk up to Star Wars, it's like the opposite of like that moment when you first walk up to Harry Potter. The moment you first walk up to like Mystery House or even Dune or even Evil Dead, right? It's just, it's just, I'm so embarrassed because I know the backstory on Star Wars. Like normally, John Borg has 18 months to develop a game. Like all this stuff matters, right? It's like, because it's like obviously they can do better. But you got to remember, John Borg has now worked on 3 games in 1 year. Normally, to get to a game like Rush, you have an 18-month development cycle on a single game. So what do you think is going to happen when you make the guy work on Metallica Remastered, Star Wars, and The Walking Dead Remastered, and you shelve his Indiana Jones game that he had fully ready to go? Like, this is what you're going to get. An absolute uninspired, rushed game that just I and I'm look, I don't mean to be mean, but the problem with Star Wars happens instantly because it just looks so cheap. And when you walk up to it and it just looks really cheap, instantly, it's like you're looking for more reasons not to like it. Right? It's a weird thing the way it works, right? Like when you walk up to a beautiful pin, you kind of like it puts a smile on your face, and then you're looking for additional reasons to love it. You know what I'm saying? It's like a beautiful woman that also has a great personality. Can cook and clean. Can I say that in 2025? Like, you know what I'm saying? Can I say that? Can you still say that in today's world? Um, but like, so that's what happens when beauty when it starts out beautiful, you look for the rest of the stuff to be great. But when you walk up to Star Wars and it looks like a Costco game, man, these are like the LEs and stuff. Like it looks like a Costco game. You are instantly kind of embarrassed for Stern. And then you've got this entire irony in the name of the game, and Stern's got this big booth, and they felt like this big empire, and they are. And they still sell more games in a week than Barrels will sell all year. But the problem is like Stern can't keep shoveling this crap out anymore. And then I heard there was like a meeting between Seth and the dealers. You know what he had to tell the dealers? You guys need to be more positive. You need to be more like, you need to be hyping this stuff more. Seth, like, that's not the issue. The issue is it doesn't matter how positive your dealers are. The game is crap. You know what I'm saying? Like you need to design a better product. You can't bring this product to market when we know you're capable of Jaws, of Godzilla, of Iron Maiden, of Batman, of Ghostbusters, of Tron, of Lord of the Rings. You know what I'm saying? Like, Stern, you've just made too many great games that like this can't be your 2025 Star Wars offering. And the fact that it is, like, is just comical. It's a joke. And that is what it is. So yeah. Look, I see Albert and like Jengus, guys, go off and call each other and you guys make up with each other. I'll just say this. I said something to somebody. Albert jumped in on someone else's debate or argument. He had no business being in on it, but he took that moment and he used it as a moment to create an hour show crapping all over me. I think that's not cool, man. So like again, this is like I'm just tired of all this. Let me curse someone out who made fun of 9/11 in which friends of mine died, and then you want to say I overreacted? Whatever. I'm just tired of all this stuff, man. Just go hang out, go make your own stuff. Go fight your own battles in life. All right? That's how I feel about all this stuff. It's stupid. Nobody should ever make a joke about 9/11, especially to a New Yorker, especially to a New Yorker who lost friends on that day, especially to a New Yorker whose brother worked across the street, whose brother, Albert, saw bodies hitting the pavement, the sound of a human body jumping from 98 stories up, okay? The sound of a plane exploding in a building. You want to make fun of it? Oh, Kaneda's sentiment's not sincere. It's just stupid. And you know what? Not a single apology from Albert or Glenn. So go get your fake security guards to try to cancel me. Go put your shows behind a paywall with 27 subscribers, bro. Just whatever. Because you know what? You need me to mention you to get any relevancy whatsoever. Otherwise, nobody's even listening. I doubled your subscriber base just by mentioning you. Anyway, let's go on. Let's go on. So, like, Star Wars. It's weird too. It's got this like bigger screen, but it doesn't feel bigger because they were forced to not put anything over the clips from the movie. So like it's like Spike 3 comes out, we got the bigger IMAX screen, but like we can't use it all. Can't use it all. So just I don't know. I don't know. All I know is Stern needs a hit. Everybody knows it. And that's where we're at. I think everybody knows that. Everybody is FOMO is like, as we saw with Winchester, Stern can get back FOMO. They just need a hit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like if Stern announced tomorrow Back to the Future or Die Hard or Fifth Element or like Matrix or you know what I'm saying? Or Super Mario Brothers, like hit. But if it's Fallout, I mean, Pokemon again is like Pokemon. If they do it right, it can be a hit. It can be a hit. Just like always in a live man. Haters just wanted to hate somebody, and yeah, I know it is what it is, gang. Like it is what it is, man. I mean, it's fine. At the end of the day, if you were at Expo and you were hanging out with me, you were having a good time. I want to say thank you to all the cool people that I hung out with. There's way too many to name people individually. So many amazing people, so much love, so much gratitude, so much positive energy. And that was the show for everybody. There was no drama, there was no fighting, there was no stupidness anywhere. My only regret about the show is I just didn't get to play some of the games. And that to me is like, it is what it is. I just didn't want to wait online for a half hour, an hour to play like Predator, for example. They had it on one player per game. So you couldn't, if it was a group of four people, they couldn't just play a four-player game and then you're up next. No, it was one player, three ball is the only way you could set up a game. So I was like, literally every time I got online for Predator, I'd be online for like a half hour and like three people would get off the line. And I'm like, I'm not, and then I'm looking in front of me. There's like 15 people in front of me. I'm like, I'm not doing this. Wait. And then I had a moment, when the show started and I was there a little early, I could pick between Winchester, Predator, and Big Trouble. And I'm like, I got to play Winchester. Like out of those three, I'm going to make that my priority to get on it. And I did. And it was like, I don't know. Predator, like, again, as I said earlier, the theme is perfect for this demographic. I didn't get to play Big Trouble. I didn't get to play it. I didn't get on it. I did not get on it. And again, the reason why, and this is on me again, because my Friday was so disrupted, I didn't want to go back into the show. And I just, I kind of didn't care. I just didn't want to interact with people that kind of, you know, made it uncomfortable for me. I mean, I'm still just a human being. And gang, by no means am I some victim here, but I'm still just, I'm a human being with two young kids, and don't know what I get scared by people that I don't know what their intentions are. I don't know if they're all there or not. I don't These are absolute strangers to me, are coming at me with like anger and vitriol, and I just want to walk away because I love my life. I love my wife. I have to raise these two kids. I don't want anything to happen to their dad because someone's upset at a pinball show. So I took the advice of the head of security at the hotel and just avoided them, because I knew if I just stay at the hotel bar, I'm not going to have any drama or anything's going to happen. But if they see me, my presence will provoke them. So I just decided not to even bother. Well, Peter, man, like, come on. I Look, gang, please, when you see me, just come up to me. Come up to me. You're never interrupting me. You're never interrupting conversations. It is absolutely, it is absolutely why I love being at the shows. And, for those of you who did come up and we all talked, I really make, it's not even an effort. It's just what I love to do. I will always talk to people for as long as you want. You poke fun at my setup, but no hate there. Life is Peter, what was your setup, man? What was your setup? Look, I'm a sarcastic guy too. So I'm never quite sure who I've said what about and who's connected to what. So forgive me, for not knowing everything. It's fine, everybody. It's fine. Like, trust me, like, nobody got hurt. Nobody had a worse time at the show. Um, I definitely, am still in awe that Winchester's Mystery House just crushed. Oh, cables showing on the walls above my pins. Oh, okay. Yeah, at home, right? Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I hate exposed wires. One of my thing is always that. Like, whenever you have exposed wires, it's like I always love to make fun of that when people show me their home setups, and it's like, well, what's like what got to hide those wires. I didn't play Predator. I did not get a chance to play Predator. Um, I think if they only make like 2 or 300, they'll most likely sell every one. It's like a weird thing happening though, where you know, there's there's just such a there's such a there's so much hopefulness that more games will come out that collectors will want. And people miss the FOMO and they want the FOMO. Was there ever looking into the eyes with Ralph? No, 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 we did. Yeah. So I absolutely looked into Ralph's eyes, and he was very nice, and we shook hands with Don. I saw Don with his daughter. You know, I'll say this, and Don and I had a little, like, pat on the back, as Kale would say. We're just building bridges back to some folks. And I know when I've been wrong, and I've said stuff that's stupid, and it's gonna take a time. And look, I think it's just about, like, let's just be respectful and cordial to each other, and that's it. And it was nice seeing Don there. I'm very happy for him and his family. I'm happy for everything happening over at Spooky with him. I'm happy for, look, Ralph moderated a really fun seminar about content creation in pinball. And I went in there. I was like, "Oh, let me see how you create content in pinball." I will say Ralph is super, super talented and super entertaining. He did a great job moderating the panel with Joel and his brother. You had Loser Kid was up there as well, and it was a really and entertaining, and it was very informative, and it was just fun. It was fun to hear from everybody, and I think what's great, and when you see it all, there was no bad blood anywhere, and the topic got on to about monetization, and even like our friends at Loser Kid were like, Chris has done such a good job at that, like that's not why we do it. The only thing I would have added to hold on one second, people. Okay, hold on one second. To what Josh and Scott were saying, and I think sometimes people forget this is my show was free for 5 years. So like it wasn't like, hey guys, like I'm this controversial like blowhard and you're gonna have to pay to listen to me. I worked really hard for a lot of years and then paywall. And I also did the one move that, all paywall. No half here, half there, different tiers, just and I'm happy with it. My fans are happy with it. And I think it's the right I have the right level of support and energy from some amazing people out there. So if you're a subscriber, thank you very much. I didn't get subscribers because I made negative content and then forced you to pay to hear it. In fact, I've done the complete opposite. I saw Colin did that recently too, like another cancel Kanaeda piece in which he hides it behind the paywall. I mean, him and Albert should just get together and unite forces on their cancel Kanaeda endeavor. Um, but like, I had a show years ago that was episode 500 that was like said disparaging things about Jersey Jack pinball. And I know that I could get so many people to pay money to try to hear that show. I've never aired it. I never will. It's not even relevant now. And the opposite's happened. I've become, good friends with Brett and the Abbas families turned it around. And so like that's life. I'm sure JJP wasn't running so smoothly when the individuals I interviewed about the Abbas takeover were giving me stories. I'm sure Pat Lawler wasn't fun to work with for a lot of those guys. Technically, Eric Menier is he's Steve Ritchie's boss. Technically, do you know that? But nobody's the boss of Steve Ritchie, and they don't operate like that. But that's technically speaking. Well, look, I've done a few free shows recently. It's not. I mean, I do this for free for sure, but in terms of podcast, no. Like it is all good. So, yes, that's the thing is like, I think everyone just wants to see that the personalities get along. It should be the manufacturers we hold accountable for making magic. So I think the next 2 months are all going to be about getting Winchesters out and Beetlejuice just crushing it. And then, we got the news from Dutch Pinball X. I'm curious what your thoughts are on this news. That the first 500 Back to the Future games. Melvin didn't say Back to the Future, but we all know it is. And also, gang, I have 100% confirmation for each and every one of you that Michael J. Fox, his likeness is in the game. He wasn't easy to get. I heard the story about what they had to do to get him, but he is in the game. And that is amazing. And I also hear the game is shaping up to be incredible. So, now we just need Barry to actually finish it. Um, so the first 500 Back to the Futures will go to the first the first people online will be Alice owners. I mean, he couldn't have said it any easier. Not it's you're not first online for Raza. If you buy Raza, that does not get you a ticket to Back to the Future. This is clearly a move to try to prevent people from getting refunds on their Alice deposits. Obviously, people would rather maybe have Beetlejuice, and I mean, people are going to want to have Raza more than Alice. But now Alice comes connected to a great perk, because if you stay in on your Alice, even if you don't want it, you know that if you get one of the first year editions of Back to the Future, that game's going to be worth thousands over sticker, because the wait to get one's going to take so long. And if you thought there was a feeding frenzy to get a Winchester, wait till it's Doc and Marty. So I just think it's going to be, I think it'd be foolish to get a refund simply because of the offer now. You know, it's amazing what a difference a year makes. A year ago, there were lines as long as there were to play Winchester online to play Alice, right? Alice was like something no one ever played before. The same thing will happen a year from this weekend. A year from now, there won't be any lines to play a Winchester on the floor. There will be a huge line to play Back to the Future. There will be a huge line to play Sonic the Hedgehog. And that's the nature of our hobby. It is the flavor of the month. Whatever's new will always have, all the energy and all the enthusiasm around it. And that is why we know when you reveal your game and there's no enthusiasm, Star Wars, you're in big trouble. And not in Little China, but you're in big trouble. A year from now is going to be awesome, other than the kids being older. Yeah. The hardest part, what's the best part about being a parent is seeing your kids grow up. What's the hardest part about being a parent? It's seeing your kids grow up. Cassian is amazing now. He's like really starting to understand and make words, and you can tell him to do stuff and he does it. Like, it's amazing. Like, Cass, go put that ball in that pit. And he just takes the ball and he's heads over there. It's absolutely amazing. So yeah, I had an amazing weekend. I want to thank everybody for all of your continued support. It was a really, really good time. And I'm definitely thinking about possibly going to pinball at the beach. I think it's going to be interesting, because that'll be when we get Stern's next cornerstone, which, by the way, is Elliot Eisman's Transformers is next. I'm also hearing that it's really good. I'm hearing, this is what my people are telling me, that Elliot's Transformers, Stern is loading it up because they know they need a hit. Pinball at the Beach sold out? No, it didn't. There's like two hotels. There's hotels all up and down this strip. What's sold out? The beach? No, I don't. I'm not going to. I feel like TPF is. I feel like TPF is kind of over. Like, I don't hear anyone really looking at TPF anymore. Like the place. It's going to be G1 Transformers. Yes. Yeah. The mistake they're going to make is, it needs to be Transformers the movie. That is the G1 you want to make. I need to charge this baby. Let's see if I can. The reason why it needs to be Transformers the movie, it's just a tighter storyline, it's got the best music ever, and the energy for pinball would be incredible. I heard someone offered $50,000 for the dude's Big Trouble in Little China, and Kyle said no. I mean, like, he can't say yes either, though, like, look, if some dude's offering me 50 for any pinball machine, I would be like, "No, I can't do it, man, can't sell it, I'm not allowed to sell it." I'm like, "Yo, bro, where's your number here? Okay, meet me out back. Meet me out back. It's yours." Then go make another. Go make another. I mean, it didn't even probably didn't even cost $50,000 to make the first one. Well will Back to the Future be a masterpiece? They've been working on it now for 4 years. I don't know. It'd be weird for me, since I haven't seen it, to say that, yes, it will be a masterpiece. Does anyone wanna see, you guys wanna see Cuphead Cabinet? You guys wanna see it? Let's do this. Let's do this. Hold on, I gotta send the image to my Gmail. Where is it? Oh, where is it? Is that it? No. No, hold on, I'm just looking for it. Wait, is it in here? Oh, I can't find it. I had it somewhere. Hold on. Um, Hold on, I'm probably frozen on Facebook right now because 'cause I'm doing all this. There we go. Um, I gotta find it. It's like the whole cabinet is yellow. It's like all yellow with the Cuphead logo. It's nothing special. It's not coming out. I kind of felt bad. I was walking by the homebrew section and there was Ryan McQuaid playing his own Sonic again. And I just like man, this guy's like it sucks. Like his dream just got destroyed. There's a stolen mech in Cuphead? What's the mech? Man, we got 100 stars. Where's Sad Boy? We didn't get the super chat. I'm not during his normal time. Everybody, I just want to say I'm gonna make the show a little bit shorter today. Um, I don't think Ryan's working for another company. Come on, Blasters. Do you really think Steve Ritchie needs Ryan McQuaid's help? That you really like? You think Steve Ritchie's like, guys? They don't call me the king for nothing. I need Ryan McQuaid's help to finish Sonic the Hedgehog. Come on, man. Like, let's be real here. Steve knows what he's doing. Do you think Steve Ritchie knows Yes, I do. I do. It's also not a hard IP to figure out. I have not seen Sonic, but people who have seen it are like gushing about it. What's up, buddy? Kill, you want to come say hi? Come here. Kill. Are you getting that for Cass? Can you say hi? Just walks in. Walks in, he grabs his brother's his diaper rash cream and then walks out. I didn't see David Fix at the show. Um, I, I saw Rob for just a little bit. I didn't see Zach Meny there. I saw Greg Bone. Had a really nice conversation with Ken Cromwell. Really, really nice guy. And he seems a lot happier. I'll just say that. He seems a lot happier. Man, I still can't get over the vibes of like the Stern booth. It's just like I mean, it really it feels like the Stern booth is like the Death Star, it's like all the stormtrooper employees just looking at us with that like disdain. And then when you go over to the boutiques, it's like walking into the cantina on like Mos Eisley. It just feels like I want to be hanging out here. I want to be hanging out with these people. Like these are if you think about it, thank you, Jesse, for the $10. Of course, Ghostbusters remastered would be way better than Walking Dead, 100%. And I think it's gonna eventually come. What's funny is like Stern is the Empire, and all the boutiques are the rebels. So it's like I literally feel like, and I feel like I'm Cassian Andor, like trying to rally the boutiques to take down the Empire. It doesn't matter. It's gonna be done by JJP. I had some Cuphead playfield picks, and then not but like a section of the playfield, and then the cabinet is all yellow. It's just yellow with like the Cuphead, like it's like as yellow as Jesse's super chat. It's too yellow. I don't know. You know what's crazy, gang, is like I don't know, like walking around, like seeing Galactic Tank Force now for 7,500 that was once 15,000. You're kind of like, man, kind of has that campy vibe, you know? Will Galactic Tank Force one day become a cult classic? I don't know. I don't think so, but you never know. In fact, I know it's not. Yeah, JJP is going to crush. It was really fun seeing Brett there. I didn't get to meet Leonard. I wanted to say hi to his dad. I just yeah. I'm gonna meet with Brett and Leonard at some point, hopefully in New York City, and share some thoughts I have with them about JJP. But all good, all good. Like this isn't a company where I'm walking in there and being like, you need to do this, this, and this differently. I think the one recommendation I told this to him when I was there was like that you can't just make CEs unlimited now for the next like for every title. You will ruin. You know what I'm saying? You're experiencing like an anomaly with Harry Potter demand. You just can't don't don't ruin um having a collectible version of the theme. And what Harry Potter, the lesson they should take from Potter is if you really make the CE different enough, it's okay to make 1,000 of them, and then push everybody towards the next model. I would only have 2 models if I was JJP. I don't, no one's ordering the arcade edition. I would just do 12.5. I would do like 12.5 and, you know, if you do 500 CEs, then yeah, then you could charge maybe 16.5. But if you do 1,000, yeah, 15. No, I can't find my Cuphead photos. I don't know where they are. I had them. I don't know if someone went in my phone and deleted them, or maybe they deleted the message sent to me. Let me see. Let me check one more place. Hold on. Wow, I'm looking at a photo. Um, Kale just sent this to me. This is what it's all about. This is what it's all about. We look so good together. And I will say this. I was shocked how pimp and baller Kale was. Like him and Rachel looked stunning. We went into the city. We went to this really nice omakase. And we just, we were going to make an offer that night to buy Stern Pinball. Wasn't going to be a high offer. It's like But this is what it's all about. It's all about everyone on Facebook is like pause right now, like, what's going on? Mm, there we go. Yeah, we did look like we were gangster. We we're building bridges, baby. We're building bridges. Kale's such a cool dude. Oh, I got to hear. I'm sorry. I'm trying to charge this phone at the same time. It's charging up. I got to hear the beautiful story of how Rachel and Kale met at Marco. I didn't know all this stuff. And I did you know how talented of an artist Rachel is? Did you guys know this? It's like crazy to me. Like her stuff is insane. I'm like, she could be doing pinball art. Unbelievable talent and just really good people. You know, when I think about my life and all the different chapters of my life, I love the friends I've made in this hobby. You guys are my I feel like I've established my extended family now for the rest of my life is I've got my the family I was born into and then the family I choose. And in a post-COVID world where like coworkers don't really hang out as much and that's where you used to meet people that became like your other tight family was like your coworkers. It's not like that anymore. Like no one hangs, nobody does anything like they used to before. Like nobody goes to happy hours, nobody takes lunches. Like it's just not the same. And but my pinball family, man, it's like I, I would I would love to hang out with you guys every week. And we hang out every week doing this, but you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like Kale's becoming a real good like friend of mine. And Melvin is the same. Like Melvin, such a good guy. And also want to give a big shout out to the other, three stooge that was with us a lot of the time, Mr. Kerry Hardy. It was really fun hanging with Kerry. And we had a funny moment. We wanted to get lunch on Thursday and we look in there and there's like all the Stern people sitting in the public house at Schaumburg Renaissance Center. And I'm like, man, and I'm like, let me see the menu here. Pick up the menu at the public house in Schaumburg Renaissance. And like I start seeing like entrees, 40, $50. I was like, gang, screw this. Look, it looks like a cafeteria. We're not eating in here. We take a $6 Uber to Capitol Grill. And I will say the Capitol Grill prices in Schaumburg are half the price that they are in New York City. It was amazing. And so had the most amazing meal ever. And part of the meal that was amazing, we had this server, Luis, and Luis explained to us why the meat is so good and how they cut it differently and how no other steakhouse in town gets it like this. And literally, this guy spent so much attention to the detail of a $50 steak. And after he finished, I was like, you know what? Every pinball company needs their Luis. They need somebody that talks about the product and can articulate it and really sell you on why it's special. Oh shit, Carrie, you're right. You did drive us. Sorry, Carrie. That was the one trip where you did drive us. My bad, brother. I forgot that. I forgot. Yeah, I took so many Ubers that you were the only time we got a ride. But it was such a good time, man. And Carrie, you always make it a lot of fun. And I think, with a lot of us, we you guys get to hear our content, and I think you get a good sense of our personalities. And what was fun hanging out with Carrie and Melvin is, the three of us like talk all the time. And I think Carrie and I both connect with Melvin a lot independently with Melvin. And it's just nice because it just feels like there's always that little like, oh, like when you're in real life with people that you normally interact with digitally, there's always a little bit of just like, okay. And then we settle in and we're just like, yeah, we're doing this. We're doing this, baby. We're doing this. We're gonna have a great time. We're gonna talk about, these games. We're gonna order drinks at noon. We've got no work today. That's the other part that makes it so much fun is just not having to work. The thing is, Peter, the thing that sucked about the public house to me, it still looks like you're eating in a cafeteria. When you go to Capitol Grill, you feel like you're in a real restaurant. I think it does sound like, Robert, it's that time to do the pinball gallery in PA. Look, gang, I'm always happy to travel and make appearances. I never get invited really. Like, I did get invited to the Australian Pinball Open, and I think they were gonna like buy my plane tickets, and then all of a sudden it didn't sound like they wanted to do that. I think they invited Eric Minier ahead of me. I will say, like, Eric's a great pinball designer, but Kanaeda is more fun to have at that restaurant. Like, um, I may have consumed a lot of Japanese old fashions, and I may have paid for the entirety of dinner on Friday night. It may have cost me more than a Stern Topper. It may be worth it. It is worth it. I love being I'm very generous to a fault, as Brenda would say. Brenda's like, "Don't get drunk and pay for everybody. Everybody's got money. Don't be drunk and pay for everybody." I didn't get to pick up the tab at the bar at the Renaissance Center. I didn't really go to the bar much at the Renaissance Center Friday night. For those of you who knew, I got the piano delivered at 10 p.m. Amazing woman. They had moved it away because there was another conference in town. But I played about 2 hours just jamming drunk on the piano. It was so much fun. You did, Christian. Thank you so much, brother. Christian, by the way, from the UK. Dude is amazing. Christian, man, I'm not saying this, Christian, because you paid for drinks, but our time at the bar with everybody was very special. So thank you very much. You made me feel very welcomed and very good. You're a very great host. And I will reciprocate the moment we meet up again, whether it's in New York or anywhere else. But thank you so much. Beyond generous. And that's, I feel that way about a lot of people in this hobby. It is beyond generous hobby. What's funny too is like, when you decide not to buy a game, I always feel like if I don't want Star Wars, I just made $13,000. Do any of you process life like that? Because I do. Like I literally do. I will literally be like, oh, I'm not going to buy Star Wars, so I'll just go spend $4,000 on Brenda. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have this weird. I actually act like I made money when Stern makes it easy for me not to buy their games. So thank you, Stern. You just gave me like a $13,000 bonus because you made Star Wars so mediocre. It's weird logic, but it's the logic I got. Everybody, be good. For those of you traveling back from Expo, get home safely. I'm going to continue to capture my thoughts around this hobby, but I just want to say you guys are the best. It's going to be a really fun year in pinball, and I can't wait to cover it. I can't wait to keep all of you entertained, and I can't wait to continue to make a space for all of us to hang out and find each other in this world. We have built a community unlike any other. It is special. It is amazing. Everybody knows that. You're not going to cancel me because you can't cancel the community and the camaraderie we've built amongst each other. And what I love about it is I think about my little boys and I think about our lives is we are there for each other and we've built a connection and we should be there for each other. We should help each other out. We should help each other find games when we get locked out. I'm trying to find a Winchester for Kale and Rachel. And later in life, later in life, nothing would make me happier than someone once saying to my kids, like, I knew your father. I listened to his podcast, saying like, who knows? Who knows? Good vibes open up doors everywhere. All right. Have a great day. Enjoy your Sunday, and we'll be back. Get us shirts so we can show we're Kanaeda. Yes. I need to get shirts. And Silver Ball Swag is going to have the band Kanaeda shirt and some other stuff. So stuff is coming in the merch department. All right. Guys, be good. Let me end it here. Where should I end it first? End it on YouTube? All right. Well, on YouTube. End it.